A walk on the moon mission begins. Apollo 11 was up in space. The astronauts had to steer it to the moon. There were 3 astronauts. Each had a job to do. One of them was in charge of flying the spaceship, called Columbia. The other 2 had to get into a landing craft called the Eagle. Then, they had to steer it down and land it on the moon. The landing astronaut who had to steer the Eagle was named Neil Armstrong. He had to find a good, flat spot to land. He also had to set the Eagle down gently. Lots of people tuned in to watch on live TV. At first, Armstrong had a hard time, but in the end, he landed it just fine. Armstrong sent a message back by radio. The Eagle has landed. The crowds watching on TV went wild. For the first time ever, humans had landed on the moon. Preparing to walk there is no air for breathing on the moon. It is also very cold. So, the astronauts could not just walk out. They had to put on spacesuits. They had to wear masks and carry tanks full of air for breathing. One giant leap Armstrong went out first. He went down the steps of the Eagle until he was on the last one. Then, he made a little hop. He landed on the moon and kicked up a little moon dust. Then, he said those famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Another astronaut, Buzz Aldrin, joined Armstrong on the moon. Once again, people watching on TV cheered. They were proud that the United States had put a man on the moon. Exploring the moon, Armstrong and Aldrin spent more than 21 hours on the moon. They found that it was easy to move about because the moon has less gravity than Earth. They could jump up high and seemed to float down slowly. They used tools to explore and dug up samples of moon rocks to take back to Earth for scientists. Planting the flag and the 3rd astronaut, Buzz Aldrin, planted the US flag on the moon. Meanwhile, pilot Michael Collins stayed on the part of the spaceship that was still orbiting the moon, waiting for their return. The return home after exploring, Aldrin and Armstrong got back in the Eagle. They lifted off, met up with Michael Collins, and then all 3 of them flew back to Earth. The spaceship came speeding back from space and splashed down into the sea. A Navy ship came to pick up the astronauts and take them back to NASA. The historic mission was complete.